Last Stop on Market Street by Matt De La Peña. Pictures by Christian Robinson. For Luna and her two grandmas, Roni and Grace, for Nana. Look at the pictures. Even there you can see mood. CJ pushed through the church doors and skipped down the steps. The outside air smelled like freedom, but it also smelled like rain, which freckled CJ's shirt and dripped down his nose. If someone skips down the steps, what are they feeling?
Excited.
All right. Okay. The outside air smelled like freedom. Where was he contained before that? Church. Are you free in church?
Yeah. No.
Not really, right?
Can't run around.
Can't run around. You have to be sitting down. You got to follow the rules. You got to be quiet. Okay. What does that tell you a little bit about CJ?
He doesn't like going to church.
I don't think that it says that he doesn't like going to church, but
He wants freedom.
he's a kid.
Freedom.
What does freedom mean? He wants to be able to move around, right? Skips down the steps. The air smelled like freedom. He ducked under his Nana's umbrella saying, "How come we gotta wait for the bus and all this wet?" "Trees get thirsty too," his Nana told him. "Don't you see that big one? Drinking through a straw?" CJ looked for a long time, but he never saw a straw. Do you guys see a straw?
Branches.
The trunk of the tree. From the bus stop, he watched water pool on flower petals, watched rain patter against the windshield of a nearby car. His friend Colby climbed in, gave CJ a wave, and drove off with his dad. "Nana, how come we don't got a car?" How come they may not have? Might they not have a car?
They're poor.
Okay, could be. It's a logical reason, right? "Boy, what do we need a car for? We got a bus that breathes fire, and old Mr. Dennis, who always has a trick for you." The bus creaked to a stop in front of them. It sighed and sagged, and the doors swung open. What street are they on?
Market.
None of y'all know how to read a bus sign?
Like Market Street.
"What's that I see?" Mr. Dennis asked. He pulled a coin from behind CJ's ear and placed it in his palm. Nana laughed her deep laugh and pushed CJ along. They sat right up front. The man across the way was tuning a guitar. An old woman with curlers had butterflies in a jar. Nana gave everyone a great big smile and a "good afternoon," and she made sure that CJ did the same. What do you mean by good afternoon? Like, what is that called, though?
Reading.
Greeting the people, being polite. Do you think that they know each other?
Nope. If they
Maybe,
would
right?
probably be sitting by each other hanging out, they would know each other.
The bus lurched forward and stopped and lurched forward and stopped. Nana hummed as she knitted. "How come we always got to go here after church?" CJ said. "Miguel and Colby never have to go nowhere." "Well, I feel sorry for those boys," she told him. "They'll never get a chance to meet Bobo or the Sunglass Man. And I hear Trixie got herself a brand new hat." He watched cars zip by on either side and watched a group of boys hop curbs on bikes. Where do you think they're going?
Home.
Maybe home?
From school.
From school?
Church can be on Wednesday.
A man climbed aboard with a spotted dog. CJ gave up his seat. "How come that man can't see?" "Boy, what do you know about seeing?" Nana told him. "Some people watch the world with their ears." "That's a fact. Their noses, too," the man said, sniffing at the air. That's a mighty fine perfume you're wearing today, ma'am. Nana squeezed the man's hand and laughed her deep laugh. Some people watch the world with their ears. I like that. Two older boys got on next. CJ watched as they moved on by and stood in the back. Sure wish I had one of those, he said. Nana set down her knitting. What for? You got the real live thing sitting across from you. Why don't you ask that man if he'll play us a song? CJ didn't even have to. The guitar player was already plucking strings and beginning to sing. To feel the magic of music, the blind man whispered. I like to close my eyes. Nana closed hers too. So did CJ and the spotted dog. And in the darkness, the rhythm lifted CJ right out of that bus and out of the busy city. He saw sunset colors swirling over crashing waves. He saw a family of hawks slicing through the sky. Saw the old woman's butterflies dancing free in the light of the moon. CJ's chest grew full, and he was lost in the sound. And the sound gave him the feeling of magic. The song ended and CJ opened his eyes, and everyone on the bus clapped, even those boys in the back. Nana glanced at the coin in CJ's palm. CJ dropped it into the man's hat. Last stop on Market Street, Mr. Dennis called out. CJ looked around as he stepped off the bus. Crumbling sidewalks and broken down doors, graffiti-tagged windows and boarded-up stores. He reached for his Nana's hand. How come it's always so dirty over here? She smiled and pointed to the sky. Sometimes when you're surrounded by dirt, CJ, you're a better witness for what's beautiful. CJ saw the perfect rainbow arching over their soup kitchen. He wondered how his Nana always found beautiful where he never even thought to look. He looked all around them again at the bus rounding the corner out of sight, and the broken street lamps still lit up bright, and the stray cat shadows moving across the wall. When he spotted their familiar faces in the window, he said, I'm glad we came here. He thought his Nana might laugh her deep laugh, but she didn't. She patted him on the head and told him, me too, CJ. Now come on. The end.